Mom zebra to fuck actually Thailand. Okay. Mom and Dad English. What was their standard of English? I feel like I have to draw. And this section here, this is from memory. I don't know how I'm supposed to draw it or what it's supposed to look like. Well, I've got this logo here and my uncle's English rests with this logo. Yep, that's their standard of English. And my uncle was an engineer and he drove a Mercedes 1976 type of era vehicle where it looks like one of those Valiant sort of shapes, where he was still driving that one 1992, so he got a lot of mileage out of that. The mum was assisting with this is where fuck all of your lingo language classificatorialization almost the core skill set from my parents was translation, and it was about the fucking precision was critical. So mum and dad were working on English to Turkish, Turkish to English translation. Mum helping my uncle with the translation of a lot of technical drawings. So there was a lot of technical language, military base, all these sorts of terminologies where you can't really afford to get too casual with language. This is a very deep bond hand-me-down that came from both mum and dad. Dad published the 10 languages. Should I pull it out? No. They published this book on Parmağın Only Son, 10 languages on 10 fingers. I think there was a brief blurb on who was involved. These are all the fakes. So here is an attempt to similar to Google Translate. this predates it. That's dad's side of picture. Mum's side, oh boy, well, she was an English teacher and her English learning I think stemmed through contact through the British consulate. So that's just a brief snippet. Like, this is why that fucking Sonic thing really fucking pisses me off. Amerikanistan! Teslim to Azerbaijanistan. Yeah. My dad was one of those first class honours from the Pentagon. So, in terms of my parents' standards for English, strong enough to be involved in translation work for NATO and strong enough for dad at the Pentagon. However, in Australis, just because their vocalizations were carrying an accent and just because they were making slip-ups and mistakes in grammar despite being exceptionally articulate with their English, just because of that fucking accent. The judgment of their standards. Oh my god. Oh my god. You got an accent. Çok aşağılayıcı. Yani annem ve babam İngiliz dille o kadar kuvveti varmıştı ama siz aşağılayıcı, pislik gibi. Sen konuşamıyorsun. Senin aksanın var. Excuse me for not giving a fuck. This isn't pancakes and chocolate sprinkles here. Amerikanistan! Teslim to Azerbaijanistan. As a child, I was exposed to a shitload of translated Turkish. That was part of the grooming where the parents are trying to expose us to Turkish language through things like SBS, where they have shows in Turkish with English subtitles, I was exposed to a shitload of subtitles, raised on subtitles. I consumed subtitles like the dictionary, and my relationship with my son is a similar type of paradigm where when we used to watch English, he kept insisting on wanting to turn the subtitles on, even though it was in English. I couldn't explain it other than knowing I went through this as a kid, and now I'm seeing my son do the same thing. That's how he does connect to Turkish, even though I couldn't teach it, he is still connected through subtitles. But that subtitle thing is a major vein of connection, link, very text-based type of upbringing. But so much of that experience was in the I want to say translative, but it's probably equally appropriate to call it trans-native, because I was born on this land, and that's what this process was. Because what I learnt being born here cannot be taught. You can only acquire it by physically being on the actual land itself. That's the only way you can catch it. That's the only way it can develop.
The problem comes to a head when the schools have a lack of classroom support, which is most common, and the teacher is left to manage the behaviour by themselves.
Its operating range is minus 55 to 150 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Now,
that one's going to need like 1300 Celsius.
1300 Celsius.
Yeah. I saw a probe. I was wondering perhaps you can build a meter instead of buying
perhaps I'd be able to do that.
Get used to it!